Born in Mthatha and raised in Queenstown, Yanga Chief is an artist who started as a videographer before jumping into the music. And now he has the first solo charting song in 4 years on Spotify for What If Mngani. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome the one and only Yanga Chief.
You're good at these intros.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
you
that.
You got it. Let's go.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. Chilling. Yeah. Fresh.
Thank you, bro. I'm feeling good. You know, I am excited about this interview.
Yeah.
And I want to jump into your story, your journey to Jozi, because I know you came for a 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
And then after that, you were like, you know what? I got accepted at UJ.
Yeah.
Let me just push more and furthermore.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, the 2-week holiday chat is what I told Oleti, you know? But in my head, I was always just trying to like find a way to stay longer. And luckily enough, I had friends at UJ. They were studying there. And then one day I was walking on campus, counting down the 2 weeks. And I saw this long queue, and it's like, if you've been accepted and you qualify for a course, we can finance you. So joined that queue, got financed, and then spent the rest of the year squatting at his place, at my boy's place. Yeah, and then I think I dropped out second year.
Okay. You're like, okay, you know what? I want to shoot music videos.
Not really. I actually wanted to be in front of the camera in any shape or form. And then, I started doing like SRC stuff and ran into Slicker, and Slicker was my guy, Well, the whole of Squatter Camp was like the reason I really loved rapping, And I just stuck with him. I followed him around until like I found something to do, which was like a website administrator or something like that. And it kept me there, and I started doing videos for the website. And then when Questa came along, it was like, yo, start shooting music videos for this artist. And that's how the music video thing happened.
Okay. And you shot Boom Shakalaka, right?
Yeah, I did.
That's a dope video.
That's the video that got Keenan like to hit me up.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He saw that video and he's like, who shot this?
I need this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and tell me about AKA, your friendship with him.
Yeah.
Because you guys were very close.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Music based initially, and creative based. Actually, not just music. We can go into like just fashion and just like style, But there was so many people around us at the time, Rich Mahog, big presence, Don Design, big presence, And we built this community like just amongst the four of us, because he stayed like down the road here in town. We all stayed here at the Franklin. And yeah, man, we just hang out. And then, I finally, got the guts to be like, yo, let me hit some bars,
Okay.
And I was always like a little bit apprehensive about that, because like I've had other friends as well that rap, and it's always like just awkward, like when your videographer wants to start rapping on the mic as well, But for some reason, Keenan never took it like that. He was just like, oh my God, that shit is dope, Am I allowed to say here? Can I say?
You
okay.
can. Feel free.
I don't get you in trouble, bro. You got a nice thing going on here. Yeah, so it's like, man, that's really dope. Come through, let's make more music. And yeah, those were like the formative years of kind of like just witnessing like, how a song comes from just your mind to like studio, and then like how do you push it once it's out, Learned a lot just by being friends with the guy, Yeah.
And 2014 comes around and you're on the hook for Run Jozi, And is it safe to say that was your breakthrough performance?
Breakthrough performance, yeah. It was actually the first song that I ever released. I think, let me not lie, I only dropped the song before, just like 2 weeks before that, just so when people were like, who's on the hook? Like, and they look for this younger guy, there's a song somewhere, There's a song called Power Shower that I dropped. If you guys go Google that, Fire record. You see, that's when you could tell this boy can rap, you know what I mean? But the sound was different back then, so don't judge. Yeah, and then Keenan hit me up after hearing a song that I had done with Maraza. I can't remember what it's called, but he drove to my house literally and it was like, yo, is this you rapping right now? Yeah. I said, yeah. And then we went and did Run Jozi, bro.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I was always wondering when that music video came out, but why can't I see Mr. Yanga Chief there?
Yeah. So the chat was at the time I had no music. I had no track record to speak of. And
Okay.
Keenan had always wanted to do like a song with him and Kale, especially after God's Will, I think, you know. It's like, yo, man, I actually gotta do not a DJ Mang Mang featuring us or whatever. Actually, we gotta go on a record, like head to head, like that, you know? And yeah, I probably had a verse for like the first week or so, and then my verse started getting chopped away. Yeah, fairly verse. So then I was on the hook, and it's like, bye, on the hook, let me have this AKA featuring KO moment. And I had no problem with it. The deal was, though, that I'd get to be in the video doing the hook. And I also got to shoot it, so it worked out for me.
Dope. Yeah. And you guys shot it just here.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela Bridge.
Dope. And I always say that being an artist is one of the toughest things.
Sure.
As an individual. And I want to know your trajectory because you were shooting videos.
Yeah.
And then you are on the biggest song.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, what is next for you? Like, don't you have pressure to perform more?
Biggest song. So like for a while after that, dude, like I honestly tried to carve my own lane with songs like, you know, Autiam, you know, Manchingilane, you know. But to be honest with you, like I was literally just dropping music that the people around me were saying is dope or is gonna work, whatever. So if you listen to like Power Shower, that was purely just me and what I wanted to do. And then you listen to a song like Autiam, and it's like worlds apart. The one is trap and the other one is Kwaito, you know? Not to say I don't fuck with Kwaito, but like at the time I was really like, you know, just rapping my ass off, like in terms of song structures and hooks and things like that. Like there's songs I have that have 3 different hooks, you know, like the in the Lebanon from Rapanga, you know, I had so much to say. So I don't know, I kind of just like in that period started not having as many voices around me, reassuring me that, yeah, this is fire. Yeah, dun, you know? And I kind of like didn't know, like, should I go back to the Kwaito part or, you know, what are the fans thinking, etc., you know? So slowly but surely I started getting into my own step, like, you know, with songs like, what's that song? The one with the video, man. Everyone likes that song. Mtasekaya.
Okay.
You know, with Mtase, that was me like, you know, exploring myself, you know, outside of like what people are saying, you know. But it still didn't really work out. You know, it like got dope reviews, but like it wasn't adding up, you know, financially, you know, it not in a sense where it's like I can build off of this, you know, like I was literally like getting what I get, paying my rent, paying for my car, whatever, doing it all over again. To a point I was just exhausted. I'm like, I'm bored, you know? And, you know, I think that's what led me to Tatako, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
You wanted something more challenging.
Yeah. I was quitting.
You were quitting?
Yeah, I was throwing in the towel, bro. Tatako. I actually just leaned into it more. I was just like, you know what, maybe film is actually my actual thing, you know?
Okay.
Before I leave this music thing, like, let me drop a big FU to everybody. Because everything I'd learned, must remember, like, I started learning this music thing even before Keenan. I was a student of Slicker and Smacks at Bada Bing. You know, I went on tour with them shooting. So even the lifestyle I was learning in studio, you know, Questa, you know, way before AK, you know. So I felt like I was in a point where I couldn't make music freely because I know too much. And when like I come onto a beat, I'm thinking about all the rules that I've learned and I can't speak freely. So on that song, I was just like, I'm breaking every rule that comes to my mind. As I'm writing, if I remember a rule, I'm breaking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mdasekai. Was it dedicated to your sister?
Yes, it was. She was hitting up my phone. Hitting up my phone, booty, you know, because sometimes you get famous before the money, you know? And like, she's in varsity, and she's like, yo, come on, send me a young, you know? And I'm like, ish, I'll let you know when I got it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, and I want us to just take it back to a high school before we go back to that darker conversation, because I know you were a sporty person, but your heart was at art.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So how did you just balance the two and actually just go about the art way more?
I was lucky enough that we actually had art in school. So I did that in high school, which kept me in school. To be honest, there was times I would come late for school, and I'd only come after first break because that's when art was, and it was in our sister school, Mngani. Yeah, well,
sure.
So, but before that, I think I was a huge drama student. I remember when I was still in primary school, I had this best friend of mine, Kevin Language, and Mr. Beckman, who was our drama teacher, had picked out a role for him. And so, but, we all have to read first, and then he's going to be like, I'll choose you. But he kind of knew who he wanted. And then I was reading, and I could see something change in his face, and he's like, I need you to read this part. And I read it, and then gave me the part. And I wasn't that loud, and I wasn't really that social in primary school. But I started making friends because, the parents of the kids that went to watch the play would go home and talk about my performance and blah blah blah. So the kids would come and say, yo, my mom says you were dope. You see, now the school started opening up to me, and that's my obsession with art. It allows me to be more approachable, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say the motion that you had for Tatako before you came to a Jozi for UJ, did you have that motion where, okay, I'm a biggest rapper in Queenstown right now?
Nah, I wasn't. In Queenstown, I was just rapping to myself and my group of friends that were in my school. I think there was a rap scene that I wasn't privy to at all. And my eyes were always just fixated on Joburg, bro. I've been mainstream in my head since the beginning. Even the music that I listen to, I listen to the hits, bro. Chart topping music, mainstream. That's me, and that's how I prefer it.
Okay, and let's go back to Tata Kone.
Yeah.
Released October 2018, and the next year you won Song of the Year at the South African Hip Hop Awards, which is a big deal because now you're collecting something that you earned. How's that feeling?
I can't put it in words, bro. There comes that thing sometimes in your head as an artist, you don't listen to the negative things people say because having a good time, you've featured on so many #1 records, you've got nothing to prove, so to speak. And then time goes by, and it's and then when yeah, calling go my teen, yeah. So when that happened, it was just there we go. Better late than never. I finally have it in the bag and no one can take it away from me. I didn't feature nobody on the record. It's just myself, and the song is done so amazing. So it just proved that everything that happened before was meant to happen. It's just that I'm the type of guy who needs a little bit of time with my things. You know what I mean?
Timing.
Yeah, timing. But
and COVID happens in 2020, né?
Yeah.
And that's the same year that you drop your debut album.
Yes.
Popstar. So how was the timing there?
Popstar. Popstar was kind of crazy because you must remember I had dropped Becoming a Popstar first, which was the lead up to Popstar. And Becoming a Popstar, by the time I did Popstar, I was coming off the back of a best rap album for Becoming a Popstar, which wasn't even an album, really, So I was on a high, and I felt I can do whatever I want. But unfortunately, I was no longer, while I was making the album, I was no longer in the spaces that I'm used to being in. I wasn't outside, And I think with that album, you can tell that the guy is inside, which is why I know a lot of people that love Popstar. Shout out to the day ones who always remind me about how dope Popstar is, despite, what everybody else says. I know that those people, they really appreciated me, as an artist, because there's a showcase of my art outside even the genre of SA hip hop or hip hop in general. It's just me making music. And I guess at the time it was, a lot of people obviously figure piano and stuff. Yeah, but abanye abantu bebengenzi piano, actually just, stuck on the hip hop side of things, you know. And I guess we all felt, you know, the repercussions of Biana at the time. So I think that's what kind of like overshadowed the momentum that it had. Yeah.
And I was just watching the music video called BBAF.
Yeah.
And I was like,
imagine BBAF while everyone was shooting like these COVID videos, these isolation videos.
Bupan.
That was my isolation video. So I was really like serious about this project. Instead of shooting something by myself in my house or whatever, I actually took a whole production crew. We drove to Mpumalanga and shot like on a farm, you know, and the main thing was that it's like isolated, you know. So over people's heads.
Over people's heads,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And to something that's quite different is the fact that you directed the documentary Dr. Kumar.
Yeah.
That's dope. Like really, really dope.
Sure.
How are you so open to doing that and also being in Mvula as well?
It comes in waves, I think. Look, like now I'm shooting someone else's documentary who I can't mention, but the album is already like out as well. So like now I'm doing it really at the same time. But for the first year or so of doing the Dr. Kumalo documentary, like I wasn't really doing music at all. I was just taking a break, you know, trying to just find myself. And I got an opportunity to work with a legend and just dive into his story and step outside of my story for a bit. And I felt like I needed that. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm glad because you're comfortable in that and you're comfortable in the music.
Yeah.
Which gets me to the next question. In the present day, you have since released your sophomore album, Lord Faku.
Yes, sir.
It's doing very well.
Shout out,
congratulations on it, bro.
Thank you, man.
I want to know the creative process of it. Like, why the name Lord Faku and why the features there as well? Because I saw you had Nathi. I liked the song War.
Yeah.
You had Nathi there, really liked it. Set Me Free as well with AKA.
Yeah.
And you also have Wuput Legend, which I like to walk me through the making of Lord Faku.
Oh, first of all, the first time I heard the name Lord Faku was from Sean Pages.
Okay.
We go to the same home cell, the Gapuga Love, and he was just like, "Hey, Lord Faku." I'm like, "Oh, babe, I like that. Let me let that sit." And then it just kind of spiraled me into like a whole. It just matched what I was doing because at the time I was really just trying to like, you know, find myself and also like my roots. You know, it's not just me that makes music and my family. Apparently, these are things I was just finding out. Like, you know. And I wanted to like sit on it, you know, because I felt like if they'll pagami sel gamalite Faku, you know, I feel like it will, you know, it'll mean something, man. You know, also like, you know, becoming a pop star, you know, felt like it was kind of like a missed opportunity to speak to something maybe bigger than myself at the time. But it was obviously at the time it was, you know, what I felt was important. But Lord Faku is just a way for me to say it with my chest, you know, and have no shame about that, you know, and make it look great. Because I feel like I'm like a descendant of King Faku for real. And I'm just like a 2025 version. And it contributes so much to how I carry myself. And hence, I was like the life of a Jan, you know, because I'm talking about like how I'm living now, you know, and what my vision is for the future, you know. And no matter what decision I make and no matter how I decide to live my life, it's not going to take away from who I am. You know, nobody can change that, you know. So I wanted to put that there like as just like a juxtaposition of two different things, but that come together to make something bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope, because I felt it as a fellow Nyawu is a Faku Tasha.
For sure.
And as a person who also comes from Queenstown.
I haven't paid this nigga, by the way. Like, you know,
nah, no problem.
I haven't paid this guy.
Nothing like that. So it really was a dope album. And you did say before our chat that it's a different you from 2020.
Yeah.
It's 2025 now. How did you change from that era to this one?
growing up and God, man, I gave my life to Jesus a year or so ago, and I think that was just like the final nail in the coffin. It's a difficult thing when everybody loves you at some point in your life and then they stop, because then you believe that you need to fix something about yourself, or you need to change this or change that. But when you're talking about the word of God and Jesus's love for you, like whether you're doing well or bad, you could be in jail, he still loves you. So I had to interrogate that, for a while over these 5 years. I had to interrogate that, like, why would he love this guy, And in doing that, I actually, started to learn to love myself as well, And like now, like, that's why I feel like I need to share, because there's too much love,
Yeah.
I need to share it. Like, I need to get it out there so someone else who's struggling with that concept can just learn to love themselves and stop looking for it in other people.
Look within.
Yeah.
Dope. And the 9th song, Set Me Free.
Yes.
And it's only AKA on the tape. I wanted to know the inspiration of you having only him on the song.
I mean, just the song itself. Like, a lot of people think I have maybe like 100 AKA verses stashed somewhere for like every genre. I've got a kwaito one, a house one, and I actually don't. Like, I was at peace with that, like I actually don't have an AKA verse, because I think we didn't spend a lot of time in studio over the last maybe 2 years. We were, every time we hung around, like, we didn't really talk about music. We were literally just friends, and I appreciated that. So there's this one time I was like trying to listen to the album, before it was what it is now. And I was just like trying to put it together, and I thought I had something. So I went to like this hotel just for like a day and stuff, and I was walking around and listening to the album. And I was thinking about the fact that I don't have an AKA verse. And there's something in my head was just saying, check WhatsApp, and I went to my WhatsApps and I went to our chats there, and lo and behold, there's a verse that he'd sent me a while ago that I hadn't used, and I felt like, let me use it. But it was for another song that came out, and I had to obviously produce another beat around it, and that was like actually like the toughest part, because I'm like, ish, do I make it a trap song or do I make it like a slow song? Because listening to the content, it is a bit emotive here and there. And I just went like down the line, with it. And by the time I was done, it just felt like Forbes was just doing his usual thing, or being like, yo, you're not dropping without me, bro. Come on. And it was done by the time, it ends. 1 minute, 39 seconds of, whatever he has to say. And that's cool with me.
Dope. And one song I particularly also liked is the one with Nathi.
Yeah.
I like the chemistry there. It felt like you guys were both in the studio together. Favorite song there?
We were in the studio together. Can you believe it?
I can feel the synergy there, but
Can you believe it? So Nathi hits me up. Hey man, just wanted to say shout out, big fan of your music. Keep going, keep doing your thing, we've loved, we've lost, that type of chat, mans. And in my head, I'm like, damn, this is crazy. At least. And he's like, I would also love to maybe work on something. And I'm like, oh, what you doing on Sunday?
Okay.
Mind you, I've already submitted my album. Like, it's about 2 weeks to go until the album's out. And so we do the session. We have another song that we try and do, and like we agree, okay, though, but none of us write anything. It's like 1 hour goes by, 2 hours, And then he's like, yo, play me the album. I play him the album. And he's like, nah, give me one of those type of joints. And I'm like, man, after your call last week, I actually started working on something, but I don't think I had the guts to like play it for you. Let me play it. Yeah, well, that's war, dog. That's how war was. I already had like my part of it, and he just came through and he took it home, bro. Like, by the time I was listening to it, like, even now when I listen to it, I still get goosebumps, bro. Like, Nathi, I listen to him when I drive to Eastern Cape, and when I fly to Eastern Cape, I have to land in East London, hire a whip, first song, Nathi, either that or Zonke, like one of the two, because it just matches my whole Eastern Cape design. You know? So to have him on the record, man, I'm completely grateful for that. Yo.
Quite dope. And I want to almost wrap it up, ne? But I have to ask about What If Mngani.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the biggest songs right now, you know?
Sure.
We carrying e-hip-hop, and thanks to you, you are number one there.
Shout out.
So what does that mean to you?
It means everything, because like I always feel like I'm better than everyone else. Sorry to say, like I always feel that way, and I'm just the guy that's like here to help other people be as good as me or better than me. You know, like even on my music, bro, like the people that I have on my album, like for me, if I feature you on an album, number one, I'm your fan. But when it comes to the music side of it, like ingoma, if you don't do better than me, or if you don't at least match me, I'm not putting the song out. You know, or I'm not putting your verse out. Like, I don't want a song where it's like, I won. On my song, no ways. You know, whoever comes last has to do best. Whoever records last has to do best. That's the culture that I grew up on. And if you don't do best, then the song is not worth putting out as is. Yeah, well. But back to, being number one. Yeah, Nfanela, bro. Honestly.
Yakufanele, bro.
Yeah.
And then Yakufanele more is your verse on Wishlist.
Yeah.
Because you just mentioned the energies.
Yeah.
You have to also match it, you know.
Yeah.
How was it working with the Tony and Usmaman and knowing that, okay, me and Questa are OGs here?
You guys would be so surprised, dude. Like, these things come after. Like, you know, we pick up these takes, you know, once the song is done as well. Like, even the way I got on the song, like, Questa was just sending it to me. Like, yo, man, the kids put me on a record. I'm listening. I'm like, bro, you killed it. That's crazy. But now the beat's not stopping. There's like a 12 there, you know? I'm like, man, let me just slide. Let me just wrap it up. I think that's like the A&R or like producer in me. Like, I just want to hear it finished. And, you know, I was like, I don't know who's coming next, but let me just handle. And then he sent it to Tony. And then Tony hit me up, yo, pa, Seps. And then, you know, yeah. So the fact that it's OGs and then Young is like, it put me after, you know, the whole thing, like, landed. Like, oh shit, okay, that's the takeaway, you know. That's what music does, bro. Like, I always listen to some of my raps sometimes. I'm like, like, I really do feel that way about it. You know?
I hear you, sir. I hear you. And you've always been a supportive person towards Kosa artists, because Dikowala you featured, Henny Billet as well.
Yeah.
Legend now.
Yeah.
Is this all intentional?
I'm always trying to work with the guys. You know, I actually have like ever since the Dikowala feature, like, you know, that world of Cape Town rap has opened up to me, especially like the mainstream cats. And like, you know, I've always just like wanted to see their thing like become huge and huge and huge and huge. So every opportunity, like, you know, I get to be on a song with them or in studio with them, I try. But it's not like I'm going out of my way to force it, because I know, like, you know, sometimes maybe that's just like how I feel about music. You know, you could, you know, do something for the moment, you know. But I think it's always just nicer when like something comes to you naturally. And it's like when you turn around, you're like, damn, we actually have like a big song. Like the Dikowala thing, like Dikowala never reached out to me for the remix. Like, I used to braid my hair for like 2 hours. I'd be sitting braiding my hair, watching Channel O, and this girl keeps popping up, and she's got like 100 niggas behind her. I'm like, what is going on, you know? And that's how, like, you know, that feature came about, and we did that. I also did Salty. That one was also just me watching TV, like, oh shit, you know, it's a dope song, you know. Oh man, let me hop on, you know, give that whatever, you know. Bravo, same thing, you know. We did that as well, like, you know. So Uput Legend and like we've been trying to work. We almost had a song at some point, but that didn't come out either. And we've had this one for like 2 years.
Ooh.
You know, but outside of all of that, I think I'm closest to him out of all of them. Like, Napansim, Tata, link up with him. We're always talking on the phone, and he's doing great. So, like, I'm a big fan of what's going on that side.
Dope. And to wrap it up, I want to know What is next for Mr. Yanga Chief? Are we maybe getting a music video for What If, Mngani?
Definitely a music video for What If. Look, for me, this is my first independent rodeo.
Okay.
This is the first time since I think maybe Mdase, era, that I've been able to creatively control everything that I do. This is the first time that I'm in charge of. This is the first time I'm making the most money out of my music than everybody else. And so I want to use all of that, money and power and whatever, to plow back into the music. So for me, the response and the reception for the whole entire album has been amazing. But because the job for me is not done. I'm a lyric, music, and visual person. So this is the first half of Lord Faku, The Life of a Gyan. The second half is actually the visual presentation of, what I think the music represents. Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited for that rollout.
For sure.
And I'm glad that this interview
I don't know about rollout. I might just slap it on your head. I'm not good with rollouts. Yeah. But when it hits you, you're going to know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And thank you for honoring the invite and having you here. And best believe we're still going to bump the tape.
For sure,
we're still here for it. For the visuals are here. And thank you for people who are watching right now. I'm hoping that you are liking and also commenting on who do you want next. Sat here next to me. Today we had the wonderful Yanga Chief. And maybe you can grace us with the young performance, Nyana. What if Nyana?
I'll do a verse.
A
something.
verse, Nyana. Appreciate that. Appreciate you watching. I love and leave you. Bye.
This is for supervision and control. There we go. Sky. I think I woke up in the sky. That's the sky. I think I woke up in the sky. I've been too much in my feelings, ninja Buddha. Yeah, watching everybody living in the Buddha. Yeah, only thing that ever work is when I do more. When I pull up to the party, colors dulo. Excellent, pinekan, figure what to do. Ninan finding nothing villain, chike kakuku. President, what a guy, Ongandazun boost. Super mega stardom, don't you ever get confused. I run the city, that's why I'm riding a horse. That's why I'm shining these diamonds, they spell out legendary verse. I'm undefeated, that's why I'm finally turned. That's why Gazlam Lilambana, I get down in the dirt. I can't believe he's a boss, living on his knees. I can't believe did it all just to balance seas. Just to get that money up and battle with me. All you niggas coming up ain't never where I be. Sky, I think I woke up in the sky. That's the sky. I think I woke up in the sky. I've been too much in my feelings, ninja Buddha. Yeah, watching everybody living in the Buddha. Yeah, only thing that ever work is when I do more. When I pull up to the party, colors dulo.
If you get to heaven, write this down. If you get to heaven and you don't find me there, you have gone to hell.
Yeah, soft touch, lady love, Tiffany finesse. Fairy tale told me went from hello to obsessed. Rocking heavy jewelry just to compliment the rest. Who's part and Nene is a part of my success. And Van up many, I am harder to impress. So don't be that selling when there's something to address. Mbilo is a movie, went from broken heart to blessed. And if it's in my music, then it's coming from my chest. It's the King Kong, I'm alive, Dreamstone, Shabala. If you got the vision, it won't be long. Sabalas, I get in the stew and make the beats. Oh, Kabalas, thinking how ambition make me drink more. Babalas, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila flow. Gwenzegila, we was cool as fuck before. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila flow. From the sky to the ground till we hit the floor. Cheers. Wonke bumnandi abantwana vibes. So dilani ngoyike. Eyona nto engicaphisayo ngani nisike nithanda uthandabuza. Ezami izinja zingena endaweni zingabuzi.